again. And hi. And welcome back to Flowers in the Autumn Time. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Things are still just so incredibly busy in Yuzu land. She's got so much on her plate, and now she gets to go play Scooby-Doo Mystery Movie with the shapeshifter of the dorms, yet another one of the mysteries haunting the halls and the history of St. Angracum Academy, where they don't have Nintendo, so their imaginations are free to run wild. Free to run wild and create problems that don't need to exist. But that's just my opinion. What are your opinions? Sound off in the comments, all of nobody that's watching this video. All right. So we had just talked to dorm mother Katabami, and of course, we did not get to see her. We don't even get like the dignity of like a Charlie Brown kind of voiceover for her or anything. I'm starting to think that that's like, it's not a gag, but I'm pretty sure that there are no sprites for the dorm mother, and we're never going to get to see her. We just know that she has authority over all. So we talked to her, and her version was pretty much the same as Sister Basquiat's, which that's not surprising. On my way back to the classroom after a brief trip to the ladies' room, I think back on my conversation with dorm mother Katabami last night. Although there were some slight differences between her perspective and Suo-kun's, a new version of that tale had brought no new revelations. Dorm mother Katabami's story began with Suo-kun coming up to her room late at night. After hearing that she'd left something in the wardrobe room and that the door was now locked, she had accompanied Suo-kun back to the room in question. Upon arriving at their destination, Suo-kun had called out through the door. With no response forthcoming, she had told Suo-kun to stop and had unlocked the door herself. When they'd stepped into the room, they'd been confronted with the sight of the unconscious student. Yeah, that all is pretty square with how it's been presented to us so far. There is one thing that differs from my previous assumptions, and that is the state of the dress. Yeah, the dress is like the weird detail here. Because my thinking is, it was like, oh, like if she got freaked out because she's overworked and tripped over her own feet, and like there was a mannequin hanging around with like maybe a dress hanging off of it, she tripped, grabbed on for something, and like fell forward or backwards and then ripped the dress. That's kind of just my... I think that this is much ado about nothing. I think that this is literally just somebody is just stressed out and she got spooked, tripped over her own feet, grabbed a dress on the way down. That's my call. That's my play. I'm all in on this is a big old nothing burger. When I had heard from Sister Basquiat that there was a ripped dress beside the unconscious student, I'd imagined it as being completely shredded. However, when dorm mother Katabami had shown me the actual garment, the only damage to be found was one clean tear running straight down the collar. Which again, I think like if you fall forward or something and you grab onto something, you fall down, it's gonna kind of rip straight, I think, if your weight kind of pulls it. For anyone with some sewing ability, including me, it looked perfectly repairable. It didn't seem like something the shapeshifter had destroyed out of spite. Destroyed out of spite? Well, I guess that's something to keep in mind too. I mean, I don't know why she would get knocked out, but if she like tore it on purpose? A ghostly suicide victim with lingering resentments? Who am I, Nettie? I shake my head, then spotting a familiar figure further down the corridor, I raise a hand and wave to them. Noticing me, the girl comes trotting over. Hey, how's it going? You're in delightful spirits as usual. Ichigo-kun rushes over to me like a delighted puppy, barely stopping short of throwing her arms around me. Her sunny presence lifts me out of my gloomy thoughts, and deducing from which floor she's on, I ask her if she's on her way to ballet class.
はい、これからバレエです。ゆずりほ先輩もそうだったんですか？
ああ、着替え終えて商用を済ませて教室に戻るところだよ。いちごくんはレオタードは忘れてきたのかね？
先に済ませておきたかったんで、リンゴに持って行ってもらったんです。
一度着替えてから催したらことだからね。
I have literally had similar situations in cosplay where you get into something and it's something that it's probably going to take a little more effort to take off, you know, to handle business. And it's just, yep, the minute you get into something like that, the minute it's just like, yeah, you know what? Maybe you should have taken care of business beforehand, because trying to take care of business in an outfit like this is going to be a pain. I've been there. And then having to like hold out through a ballet class. That sounds awful, since you'd just be bouncing around the whole time. I grin and she looks a little embarrassed. Guess she can be more of a girly girl than I thought.
何か考え事をしていたみたいですけど。
そうかい？
もしかしてシェイプシフター事件を調べているのですか？
You want in? I consider my words for a moment.
捻挫とはいえ、驚いて怪我をしたとあっては、二階屋の会の会長として動かざるを得ないからね。
I reply as though she's alluding to the previous incident, but Ichigo-kun shakes her head cutely.
それではなくて、昨日手を怪我したって聞いたのですけど。
Sister Basquiat really should have issued a gag order. Like, who talked? Out of all three people, like, that are involved, who would have talked other than the person involved? Like, unless, like, and she wasn't hurt so badly that she would be, like, in an infirmary or anything. She just cut her hand. So I guess she's out here blabbing. Which, if my assumption is correct, and this is a big nothing burger, of course she'd want to inflate it. Of course she'd want to make it sound bigger than it is. So maybe she's the one out here running her big old mouth. I know that Ichigo-kun loves gossip and is always first to hear about everything, but I feel a headache coming on at the knowledge that the word is already out on this.
うちのクラスの転入生の子、
Tsuwabuki-san.
怪我をしたんです。
One of the girls who
ゆずりは先輩は聞
transferred.
いていませんか？
Oh, okay. Wait, so that does. If we think back to conversation earlier. Thinking.
そっちのことか。もちろん聞いているよ。話が大きくなる前に。
怪我もそうですけど、ドレスが破かれていたってこともまずいですよね。ハロウィン中止にとかならないですよね。
God, no, we'd never let that happen. I tell her not to worry about that.
確かに被害者のつわぶきくんは衣装がないと制服での参加となる。
Well, that would be a bummer. It's strange to me that the ordinarily kind Ichigo-kun should be more concerned about the girl's dress than her injury.
確かにハロウィンの衣装がないと閉まらないが、なければなくとも構わないよ。この行事は学生が催しているものだから、そこ。
Yeah, I'm sure we're not gonna like throw her out into the middle of the floor and stone her for not having a costume.
そうなんですか。よかった。もし衣装がなかったら参加できないってことだったら、
Yeah, that'd be kind of a bummer.
つわぶきさんかわいそうですもんね。彼女は関係ないですけど、その相手の子がかわいそうっていうか。
Though that is definitely not how things worked when I was in school. I definitely remember one event where it was a Halloween themed party thing, but if you didn't come dressed up in some way, you had to stay in a classroom. You couldn't go to the gymnasium at like 1:30 or something. You had to stay in the classroom. And I thought that was real shitty, because not all parents are gonna have money to get their kids stuff to wear, and I just always thought that was shitty. I didn't go because I didn't want to be around people, so I just didn't dress up anyway. But it ended up being like me and probably like 15 others in that classroom. And we literally didn't do anything. There was nothing for us to do. It was just, oh, you're just going to sit here for the next hour and a half. You can study or something. Like, you're telling me we can't just go to a room because we don't have a costume? Again, I'm diverging. The other girl, what does she mean by that? I think I know what's going on now. I think my nothing burger assumption may not be. Yeah, I think my other assumption might not be. The nothing burger assumption, we'll call it. May not be on the. I'm still holding on to it. I did go all in on nothing burger, so we're gonna ride or die for it. But I did not stop to think of information we were given when we were talking to Chidori and Erica earlier. I think that might have something to do with it. Yeah, okay. This definitely paints a different picture. Yeah, that'd be terrible. Looks like I've fallen into the trap of making assumptions. Me and Yuzu are way more alike than I care to admit. A torn dress found beside the unconscious girl. Of course, I'd assumed that it was a dress that she'd been working on. But Ichigo has proven absolutely invaluable to this investigation now, however. Oh, hey, you okay there? You good? I mean, you're obviously kind of going through it here in the moment. I pat her on the head and her cheeks flush crimson as she looks up at me adoringly. Thanking my ever-dependable underclassmen one more time, I decide there's one more person whose side of the story I need to hear. Since I finished up my preparations for tomorrow's long-awaited birth... Oh, you got it all done? Well, good for you! I decide to go get the opinion of our resident detective. I drop by her room straight after dinner. She brings over the pot of fragrant amber liquid. All right, what you got for me, Suo? And hands our Nancy Drew a steaming cup. No, I'll take tea. It's fine. Let's have a tea. Bring it on over. A little change in the world can't hurt anything. All right, boom. There you go. We are not missing out on Rika tea. Like, you can't do that. This girl brews a mean cup, and we are not missing out. I take a bite out of Hanabishi's homemade almond cookie. It's nice and crunchy, and the sliced almond perfectly complement the aromatic tea. She glances nervously at Suo-kun. I guess I don't have to ask for her sources. They both nod. I take a sip of Darjeeling, or was it orange pekoe? Then ask them their thoughts on the incident. Yes, your thoughts. Hand them to me! She got Rika. Let's hear the outsider's opinion first.
お化けなんていないと考えています。
Well, obviously.
なら誰かのいたずらだと？
いえ、そうではなくて、お化けはいないですけど、つわぶきさんには見えたというか。
なるほど。花火師くんはエルビス派
She's
の
in the Elvis camp. Eh. She gives me a blank look, which turns increasingly dubious as she fiddles with her braids.
八代先輩はどう思っているのですか？
She turns the question around on me.
被服室には鍵がかかっていた。そうだね。
はい。
中からはかけられるが、外からは鍵がなければかけられないタイプだ。だから状況を作るためにはつわぶきくんが気を失っていなければならない。
中からは鍵が開けられるからですね。
そうだ。養護教諭から聞いたが、つわぶきくんが自分自身を見、驚き倒れたおおよその時間とスオくんたちが駆けつけた時間、それらを考えると片上寮長の部屋から鍵を拝借して驚かして戻すというのは無理のようだね。
Yeah, that time frame makes no sense.
ならやっぱり彼女の目には。
まあまだ早計だがね。鍵などなくとも錠前焼きが趣味の女生徒がいるのかもしれない。
I'd said it as a joke, but both Hanabishi-kun and Suo-kun's expression remain earnest. To let them know I'm not serious, I go on to stress how unlikely it is that anyone of that sort should find themselves at a boarding school for modest young ladies.
それと状況が複雑化する要因がもう一つ加わった。聞かなかった僕が悪かったのだけど、
Yeah, that's the big new detail, and you take that on top of a couple other things, and this whole thing gets switched around. Though Ichigo Sasaki had known about it, it seems that that part isn't common knowledge. Or... Okay, so you did not know that. No, Ichigo-kun wasn't mistaken. After I've finished my summary of events, silence descends over the room. For a while, I just enjoy the pleasant quiet and the invigorating aroma of the tea sunk in thought. Then Suo-kun, who had been sitting as still as a hibernating squirrel as she listened intently to my story, speaks. What you got? Total accident.
事故？どういう意味なの？
シェイプシフター事件での犯人と言われる人物はいなかった。
Yeah, yeah, like Suo is of the same mind as I am. I think that this is kind of just... I think there's a large percentage chance that this is a nothing burger. And I think me and Suo are on the right path here. Or on the same path at the very least. I narrow my eyes, searching for the true meaning of my teacher's words. That would mean...
あのドレスは被害者であるつわぶきくんが誤って破いてしまったということかな。
I arrive at a conclusion.
つわぶきさんが？だって密室で彼女は気を失って倒れていたのでしょ
Hanamichi-kun blinks confusedly, and Suo-kun explains to her that there's actually nothing meaningful about the room having been locked in this case. Yeah, I don't think now that the room being locked is literally just somebody doing a thing that you do when you are somewhere you're not supposed to be.
密室を作る意味合いのほとんどがアリバイを作ることだわ。だけど、この場合の密室はそんな深い意味合いがあってのことじゃない。
どういうこと？
時間外の作業をするということの後ろめたい気持ちから被服室の内鍵をかけ作業していただけなの。
There was no intention of casting suspicion onto another student by locking the door, Hanabishi-kun nods, her braids swaying.
鍵をかけ衣装作りに没頭している際、シェイプシフター、己の姿を見て驚き慌てふためいた。
Just maybe overworked. Just kind of freaked out.
彼女は立ちばさみで怪我をし、
Shears.
かけられたドレスをつかみ、
I
や
didn't
った
even.
際に破ってしまう。
Okay, I didn't even think of shears. Why didn't I think of shears? I was just thinking of the sewing machines. I hadn't thought of shears, but now it's like, okay, she cut her hand. Fuck, okay, if it's like that clean of a cut, she cut the dress on purpose. Oh, you little faker! I hadn't even thought of the shears. My brain was on sewing machine for some reason, just because that's what you do. I'd never even thought of shears. That's why she cut her hand. That could very well be why the dress is cut the way it is. It looks just like a straight line. Like she did it on purpose. And then she like faked being, I do think that she faked being injured, mostly because she just kind of did cut her hand, but then she just kind of laid around and pretended to be passed out. What do you make of that? She asks us.
すごいわ。確かにそれなら筋は通るわ。
なるほど。
Naruhodo. If we acknowledge that she did in fact see a ghost, everything else falls into place.
千代先輩、津吹さんには会いましたか？
いや、実は話を聞きたくて何度か足を運んだが会えなかったよ。
きっとシェイプシフターを見たことのショックもあるのでしょうけど。
Or she's feeling guilty, or she's trying to avoid being questioned by anybody in authority, such as maybe the president of the Council of Nikaya.
クラスメートの衣装を事故とはいえ破ってしまったということで動揺しているのではないでしょうか。
Okay, my brain on now, like I've kind of come to accept that my nothing burger theory now only applies to her being injured. I think that is a nothing burger. I think she faked it. But if we go back to the conversation that Erica and Chidori had earlier about there being a love triangle and somebody feeling kind of left out and getting on the outs and there being some bad moods, I think she did it on purpose. It sounds like this is the girl that's like the third wheel and she kind of got jealous and she went in and did the dirty work. Now, maybe she was trying to fix it at some point, maybe. But I think she went in there, locked the door to cut the dress, and then maybe kind of felt guilty about it leaving or something and was just like, shit, I need to do something to make this look like I'm the victim here.
そうよね。私だったら合わせる顔がないわ。
It all came down to just like the shears. I hadn't thought of shears. She fiddles with her braids, her expression grave.
その破いてしまったこと仲直りできるように働きかけなくちゃ
Yeah,
い
we
けない
gotta kind of get this out in the open. We gotta get this shit fixed. She nods decisively to herself.
シロ先輩、
My teacher regards me questioningly.
ありがとう。バスキア教ゆえ。
Looks like I got good news for people who love bad news. It all makes sense, yet I still feel like something's not quite right. I take a sip of my now cold tea and close my eyes, trying to figure out what's off. I can't exactly describe it as a good situation.
だが、最悪ってほどまずい状況でもない。
I mutter to myself as I flick the light switch in the textiles room on and off.
昨日、スオ君が披露した推理。
It probably provides the best compromise. As an explanation to present to Sister Basquiat, who's recommended canceling the Halloween party, it's neither good nor bad. It's neutral.
怪我を負ってしまった騒動は、兄弟心から自分の姿を見てしまい、
Are we gonna try and like put together
ク
like
ラスメートのドレスを破ってしまう。
again a compromise that kind of takes away guilt? Is that what we're gonna try to do again? Are we going back to that, or are we actually trying to solve a mystery, you know?
ことで大ごとにはならず、ドレスに関しても給油にも同様の言い訳が立つ。
However,
何かが引っかかる。
it's a coherent, logical explanation of events. So why do I still feel like something's not quite right? I advance into the room and sit down in the chair from which the shapeshifter is often said to be seen. I look around.
黒板、カーテン、マネキン、窓。
She says that she saw herself. If there's anywhere that she could catch her own reflection, it would be in the window. It's daytime, so the curtains are open, giving me a view out to the rows of the cherry trees bathed in the clean light of the morning sun and the window of my own dorm room.
だがカーテンは閉め切られていた。
Meaning she couldn't have seen the shapeshifter in the glass.
もう一度ドレスを見せてもらいに行くかね。
If the source of my gut feeling that something's off isn't to be found in this room, then perhaps it lies in the ripped dress. I run a hand through my ponytail, I ran a hand through my ponytail, then set off for the dorm mother Katabami's room.
危なかったな。
My first trip to the dorm mother's room had been in vain, so I'd used my lunch break to try
あ
again.
ともう少しで雑巾、いや、茶巾袋になっていたぞ。
Dorm Mother Katabami is the type of person who feels guilty about throwing anything away, so I'd figured she wouldn't have dumped the dress just yet, but oh, she's a hoarder, is she?
危うくリサイクルされるところだったよ。
I've come to the aquarium to talk to the fish. I'd got there just in time to stop the dress from being repurposed and secured it as evidence. It's now sitting in my room. Gazing at the fish as they swim aimlessly around the tank, I try to calm myself and sort through the information I've gathered. Detective mode! Let's Scooby-Doo this shit! I discovered how it was torn. There's the music. Let's go. When I'd first heard what happened, I'd assumed the dress had been ripped to shreds. However, upon actually examining it, I'd found it torn in one straight line down the collar. That would fit with Suo-kun's theory that the girl had grabbed hold of it in a panic as she
2度
fell.
目の見聞で分かったことは、切り裂かれた襟に刃物。おそらくハサミで少しだけ裂いたところが見受けられた。
Okay, so yeah, this was definitely done on purpose then.
まるでここから裂いてと言わんばかり。
Cut here! I mentally shuffle through the bits of information I've gathered so far. The shapeshifter of the dorms, the apparition that's been appearing in the textiles room, the student who sliced her palm on a pair of dressmaking shears, the ripped dress, a victim who's still too upset to leave her room.
今までの経験則から紐解くために必要な要素は、犯人の目星をつけること、ついで犯行方法、そして動機。
Motive. And this is where it goes back to the conversation where she just offhandedly mentions, where Chidori offhandedly mentioned that a few of the girls that she had transferred in with were in a thing and then somebody got their feelings hurt. I finally realize what's been nagging at me. The one thing I've completely overlooked. Moving closer to the aquarium, I stare at the plants wafting gently in the water as I scrutinize the possibilities that have come to me. I must have unthinkingly flipped the light switch because the lights in the tank suddenly goes out and I see my own white face with its Western features reflected weakly in the glass.
必要なピースが集まったな。
All right, here we go. So it's time to unravel what we know step by step. And since these always lead to bad ends, we go ahead and just make a save file, a hard save file, because I know we will probably be coming back to this to gather up bad endings later. So, it's time to unravel what we know step by step. First, a girl injured her hand on a pair of dressmaking shears. The victim, Tsubaki-kun. She is lying to implicate someone. That's right. Arranging the puzzle pieces like this, we can start to see the whole picture. Next up is the question of why the dress was ripped. Let's deduce the reason from the information we have so far. Why was the dress torn? She ripped it out of spite at a love rival. Yep, this has got to be it. So that's it. I was actually not using the guide that time, okay? I literally do not have my phone on me, so I did not actually. I was sitting here flying by the seat of my pants. I mean, I can't prove that, but I can tell you right now, I do not have my phone on me, so I could not have looked that up. I let out an internal sigh at the conclusion I've reached. Me. I see consistency as a virtue. They desire change.
今更ながらネリーの誕生日は今日なんだよな。
I'd been planning on waiting until classes were over to celebrate and inviting her over to my room after dinner, but
高校の憂いをなくすために先に済ますべきだな。
although I've made up my mind internally, my expression reflected in the glass twists into a cynical smile in an obvious attempt to convince myself. Hello? In the gazebo, under the clear autumn sky, it's birthday time!
それではコミカドネリネ先輩のお誕生日会を始めます。
Yeah, let's go! Hanabishi-kun gets the party started.
お誕生日おめでとうございます。これは私としてのプレゼントです。私的には一押しのカエルの置物です。なんとカエルさんが朝起こしてくれるんですよ。
So adorable.
ありがとう。今日は私のためにこんなに素敵な催しをしてくれて嬉しいわ。プレゼント大切にするわね。
Yeah! She smiles as her fellow classmates and underclassmen hand her gifts. What the heck?
サプライズパーティーを計画してたのか。
Dang, you got outdid! No! It looks like Hanabishi-kun is the organizer, but she hasn't given me a single role.
これプレゼントです。つまらないものですけど。私のお花の押し花ね。しおりになっているのね。本好きの白羽さんらしいわ。
That's a really thoughtful gift.
よかったら使ってください。
Suo-kun's cheeks flush at Neri's gratitude. Marching over, I insert myself into the party picture.
僕だ
The
けが
pretty
プレゼ
picture.
ントを用意していない不心得者みたいじゃないか。
Oh no! You look like a gigantic asshole!
ごきげんよう、八代先輩。あれ先輩、プレゼント持ってきてないんですか？
Why are you being like this? Why are you doing this?
サプライズパーティーをすると聞いていたの
Yeah,
に
we
持って
didn't
きた
even
よ。
know! Nobody told us! Nobody told... Nobody told Yuzu at all? Do they think she's the kind of girl that just wouldn't want to be at a surprise party for her best friend?
話したらサプライズにならないでしょうに。
僕にサプライズしてどうする
Yeah,
ん
like,
だ。
why do you want to surprise her?
あら、八重垣さん、高崎さんも来てくださったのね。
This feels a little backwards.
誘われましてね。
As she speaks, she hands over her own paper-wrapped package. What the hell? From the size of it, it's like a freaking expensive, like, boombox or something.
私は合唱部という
Did
こ
you
と
get
で
her a Nintendo? What if they got Neri a Nintendo?
リズム感のトレーニングに最適ですよ。
Okay, it's a digital metronome. All right, it's not a Nintendo. All right.
初めて見るわ。デジタル
If anybody's buying her a Nintendo, it's gonna be Yuzu.
私も使っています。予備ですみませんが、どうぞ。八重垣さんも高崎さんもありがとう。こんなたくさんの人に祝われるなんて嬉しいわ。
ゴミカド先輩の人徳ってやつですよ。こんなにたくさんのプレゼントをもらえる人は学院にもそうはいない。ですよね、八代先輩。振るな。
Why is everybody being like this? I don't understand why everybody's being mean. Why is everybody being mean? I feel this feels kind of mean. That's what I yell internally. But to my beaming best friend I say,
誕生日おめでとう。
Happy birthday! Everybody made me look like the world's biggest asshole.
ありがとう、ゆずりは。
I'd wanted to tell her when we were alone.
ああ、ゴミカド先輩こっちにいたんですね。今日は先輩が主役なんですから、ケーキを切り分けてくれないと。その前にろうそくを吹き消す大仕事がありますですよ。
Yeah, you have to wish for a best friend that's not an asshole that didn't know about your surprise party, right? Is that what we have to do now? You guys should let her know that she should wish for a better friend who didn't know about her surprise party.
あんなに大きなケーキは。
Came empty-handed, just gonna sit here and gobble down cake? This is terrible. Why would you do
り
this?
っちゃんさんが手がけた対策です。さあ、続いと。
One of the twins takes her by each arm, sandwiching her between them. My own cake pales in comparison to Hanabishi-kun's impressive creation.
その茶化して悪かった。
God! What the hell, dude? We made like a cute little sponge cake and, well, what about the cream? We whipped some creamy ass. You gonna tell me that all that creamy ass whipping was for nothing? They even got little... Look, man, they even got little star cookies of different sizes. They get painted smiley faces on them. You got the birthday card up here. Man, they just... Oof. Oof.
すみません。性格が悪いだけで悪気はないんです。
As I watch the other students, both our age and younger, who clearly adore Neri,
何構わないさ。
it's fine. It's fine. My feelings aren't hurt at all.
あの、
Her blue-green eyes regard me uneasily. I know that deep down, our cute little underclassman is actually a very nice, caring person.
計画とは違ってしまったが、ネリーが親友がこれほど慕われているのを見られたんだ。純粋に嬉しいよ。
It's very bittersweet. It just kind of, again, this volume has a lot of very quiet oofs in it. Just oof. You know, you feel yourself getting punched right in the stomach sometimes. This volume's really good with that.
計画。サプライズならまだ立て
Yeah, why
直し
not?
てますよ。
Like, why would you just give up?
ありがとう。
Like, why would you just...
そのせいで考えて
I still think it's just an amazingly asshole-ish thing for everybody to get together and have a surprise party for her, but not tell the best friend about it. Like, what if she would have just been off doing ballet practice and missed the whole damn thing? This is so... I'm sorry to get hung up on such a weird thing. Like, maybe this isn't as big of a deal as I'm making it out to be, but it feels so weird that the best friend would not be involved in the surprise birthday party. I respond with my cynical smile. her concerned expression finally morphs back into her usual disdainful one.
八代先輩はいい人だわ。
できるならもっと人が多いところで大声で話してほしいね。
Yeah, yeah. It's hard for me to not feel like the world's most gigantic asshole right now. My comment seems to reassure Takasaki-kun too. Nettie blows out the candles in one breath to a resounding cheer. As I watch my friend's porcelain cheeks flush, I feel my chest grow warm.
コーヒーを持ってくるが、二人ともいるか？
I'm gonna go drink some of my punishment water now.
はい、いただきます。
私も。それじゃあアメリカーノで。エスプレッソは置いてないよ。
Takasaki-kun asks me what the difference is, and Erica explains that an Americano is basically a watered-down espresso. With a sidelong glance at them, I make my way over to the drinks table.
どうぞ、ケーキです。
Yeah, well, great. Here's some Yuzu's a gigantic asshole cake. My teacher, who's handing out slices of cake, calls out to me. With an internal sigh, I veer away from my path to the coffee and head over to her instead.
スオ君、今日時間が取れるかな？
Yo, we gotta talk. Official business.
二人きりで話がしたい。
I whisper to her to come to me at a specific place following dinner, then head back to the table to get my coffee. It wasn't an accident, I declare. Who was it that said that the hour of darkest before who was it said that the hour is darkest before dawn? The twilight lobby is as silent as the grave, folding my words into its still embrace. The air is heavy with the cold tang of mid-autumn, and I feel a chill creeping up from the soles of my feet. She's standing beside the aquarium, but her eyes aren't focused on the brightly colored fish as they wend their way through the water, yet they aren't set on me either. They're trained down the dim floor, bowed like that. They're trained down on the dim floor, bowed like that. She looks as though she's lamenting the many troubles that plague her.
事故なんかじゃない。
She doesn't move from her position even when I repeat the words, nor does she ask me what I'm talking about. Suo Shirahane already knows.
被服室でのシェイプシフターの件だよ。あれは事故なんかじゃない。
私の推論が
Did you
間違っていましたか？
give a fake theory because you didn't want somebody to be guilty?
いや、行動自体は間違いではないよ。一人きりで被服室で作業していたことも、被害者自身が鍵をかけ密室だったことも。
Can actually hear. They actually did ambient sounds for an aquarium. If you turn up the volume a bit, you can actually hear that they did ambient sounds for the aquarium. I had not noticed that before.
そして、友人のドレスを破ってしまったことも。
でしたら
言っただろ？これは事故じゃない。
She falls silent. It's that blank stretch of time after dinner when all the other students have returned to their rooms for prayers. The cold permeating my skin seems to freeze the air between us and the otherwise deserted lobby.
行動は変わらない。だが、僕はこれに動機を付け加えてみた。推理の基本だ。なぜ彼女を殺したのか。寄宿舎のシェイプシフターという七不思議が絡んでいたことから、そいつは枠外へと捨て置かれていた。幽霊に動機なんてものはないってね。だが、事故でない以上、怪異はどかしておく。枠の外へポイだ。幽霊でないなら、人が犯したことなのだからね。
シェイプシフターはいなかったの？
She's not asking about the existence of the creatures. She's asking if I'm saying that Tsubaki-kun never saw the shapeshifter, as she claimed.
ああ、スオ君はシェイプシフター。己の姿を見て驚き慌てふためいたと言ったが、そもそもシフターは彼女の前には現れなかった。
I go on to clarify that she used the shapeshifter as of the dorms to her advantage.
スオ君が知っての通り、被服室には鏡はない。時間外の作業をするため、窓にはカーテン。だから、己を見ることなんて真似はできない。
Bingo!
臆病な気持ちから幻を見てしまうことはあります。
ああ、そういうこともあるだろうね。だが、彼女の場合は違った。なぜなら、そんな臆病な虫がうずくような心境じゃなかったからさ。
Her face clouds over at the word. It will reveal the reason she's covering for Suwabuki-kun.
僕はこの件を調べるときに違和感を得たのは、そのものズバリ動機なんだよ。今回の件にはそいつが全くなかった。だが、動機を加味すると途端に分かりやすく見えてくる。
I tell her how I'd met with dorm mother Katabami that morning to inspect the dress again, and that the way that it was torn was suspicious.
ドレスは襟から一直線に裂かれていた。スオ君が言うように、バランスを崩して倒れ込む際、襟に手をかけたならうなずけない話じゃない。
I still think that it would probably rip in a pretty straight line depending on the fabric. Like, I've definitely ripped fabric in this way before and had it be just almost a perfectly straight, clean cut.
だが、切り口がなかったらだ。見聞した結果、破かれたドレスの襟にはハサミで破きやすいように切り込みが作られていたんだよ。
She lets out a faint but heavy sigh in the face of the proof thrust before her. Suo Shirahane already knows the truth. She knows it all, but...
そう。誤って破かれたのではない。友人のドレスは、ツワブキ君が望んで破り裂いたものだったんだよ。
Suo-kun has known Suwabuki-kun was the culprit all along, but she'd kept it quiet. She's still staring down at her feet, not looking me in the face.
以前、興味深い話を聞いたことがあった。君のクラスに転入してきた子たちだ。
Dun dun dun!
アミティアが三角関係になったと聞いているよ。
それは噂です。
火のないところに煙は何とやらさ。残念ながら裏付けもできている。ツワブキ君はその三角関係とやらのアミティエの一人だそうだね。
Suo-kun doesn't even nod. I know this is painful for her, but I can't stop now.
そしてここのところ、その三角関係が進展したようだ。
So...
で、調べてみると分かりやすいことに、破かれたドレスの持ち主というのは好きな相手を奪った。
She probably...
深夜の作業中、恋敵のドレスが目に入り、ツワブキ君の心には静かだが強い嫉妬の炎が生まれた。そしてハサミで切れ込みを入れ。
Maybe I'm projecting my past self onto Tsuwabuki-kun, onto those 3 transfer students and their love triangle.
引き裂いた。
I go on to suggest that since she hadn't gone in there with the intention of ripping the dress, she probably freaked out.
計画的でなく突発的だったはずだ。破くだけなら露見しにくい方法はいくらでもある。悩んでいたそこへ君が被服室へと訪れた。タイミングを考えればスオ君が片踏寮長を伴い来た時に初めて気づいたのだろう。スオ君の話では最初はドアノブを回して確認しただけ。この時に 室内のつわぶきくんは自分の犯した過ちに気を取られ、ドアノブの音に気づいていなかった。スオくんが初めて中へと呼びかけたのは寮長を伴った時だったね。
はい、ただ鍵をかけているのではなく、内鍵で誰かが閉めているとその時思い立ちましたから。
ドアを叩き呼びかけた。この時ようやく己が追い詰められていることに気がついたつわぶきくんは、被服室で頻繁に見かけられているシェイプシフターに罪をかぶせることを思いついたのさ。
I finally let out a breath after my long speech. Suo-kun lifts her beautiful eyes to look me in the face. Those crow-dark eyes filled with sorrow and resignation.
君は被服室に入ってすぐ気を失ったふりをしていたつわぶきくんの姿を見て、
Why was she covering though? Like, I'm not sure why Suo was so invested. I mean, if you know some shit happened, Suo is also just kind of the kind of person that doesn't want anybody to get in trouble. I mean, but still, it's very weird.
そして誰も傷つかないように。
Yep, we're doing the whole let's not hurt anybody with the truth thing again. She had intentionally misled me and Hanabishi-kun.
私は
Yeah, I can see that.
彼女たちに自分を見ていたのです。
There was a time when she did feel very left out of her own amitié. I get it. When it kind of felt like she was kind of like when Mayuri and Rika were the ones kind of making a connection. She reveals the inner feelings I had vowed not to ask her about, and there's nothing I can say in response.
三角関係となったアミティエを私たちに。互いの気持ちが消化できなかったら、沢吹さんのように彼女。
It'd be imprudent of me to make her say who she's talking about. Suo-kun stares at me imploringly. Then, with her glistening eyes still fixed on mine, she moves in closer to me.
だから、八代先輩、どうか。
I'm captivated by those upturned eyes, her doll-like features, her slender frame, her gorgeous raven tresses. So black, they blend into the darkness surrounding us.
報告はしなければならない。
八代先輩。
ハロウィンパーティーが催せなくなってしまう。二階屋の会の会長としてそれは避けなくてはならない。
そうですよね。
だが
However, I reach out and touch her beautiful silky hair, one of the many things about her I envy.
バスキア教諭への報告はスオ君が話した内容にしようと。
Yuzu, such a bro.
ですか。
もちろんまずいさ。
Of course it's not okay. We are literally going to lie here.
スワブキ君たちは矢面に立たされることになる。
I play with the strands of her hair between my fingers as Suo-kun continues to gaze at me.
生徒を守るのも二階屋の会の会長としての務めだ。もっともつわぶき君、そしてそのアミティアらには。
Yeah, gonna have to take him out back and give him a good old-fashioned private. All right, fuckers. Y'all are gonna sort this shit out now. I covered for your dumbasses because you'd be in a whole shitload of trouble if I didn't. So y'all need to kiss and make up and fix this shit now. And I don't care if it's, you know, literally kissing and making up or not. Might stick around and watch. But one way or another, this gets solved.
ありがとうございます。八代先輩。
She wraps her arms around me and hugs me, and my pulse quickens. It's not like I'd come expecting this, but a hug from the most gorgeous girl in the school is a welcome perk.
このままスオ君の抱き心地を堪能し続けたいが、そろそろ寮生らの部屋を出てくる頃合いだ。
I gently remove myself from her embrace, her cheeks flush crimson. She's so goddamn cute!
僕はこの足でバスキア教諭へ報告に向かうよ。
よろ ろしくお願いします。
ああ、この件が済めばシェイプシフターも現れにくくなるだろうからね。
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have many more shapeshifter incidents after this.
完全にいなくなるのではないのですか？
僕の試験だが、被服室にシェイプシフターが出るとの噂が出たのは、被服室での深夜作業から人を遠ざけたい者たちが流したものだと考えている。
Get these kids goddamn Nintendo. What? Just get these kids a goddamn Nintendo. Every Amitié partner, every Amitié, they all get Nintendo. Yeah, everybody play Duck Hunt or whatever after school. Keep yourselves busy. We don't need to be doing any more stoking the fires of the Angry Mysteries. I walk over to the aquarium.
シェイプシフターは寄宿舎のとつけられていただろう。本来寄宿舎ならどこにでも現れる怪異だ。
The fish gather curiously on the other side of the glass. They probably think I'm gonna feed them. Instead, I gently tap the glass with my finger.
知っているかい？以前父から教わったのだけどね。
She seems wary of the sudden change in topic, but follows me over to gaze into the tank too.
のですか？お魚が眠っているところを見たことがないです。
眠らせる際、電灯を消すのだそうだ。別に夜になったらすぐ消灯するわけじゃない。規則正しい時間に消してやるのが重要なのだそうだよ。
そうなのですか？
この熱帯魚も規則正しい時間に消灯している。片踏寮長が夜の見回りをする11時半ちょうど。
We're gonna have to remember that. That's gonna be a thing for a mystery later, right? Like somebody could have done this, or the alibi is gonna happen at 11:30 or something like that. I press the switch as I speak.
水槽が鏡に早変わりだ。
This is the origin of the shapeshifter. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that. My face and Suo-kun's startled visage stand out in sharp relief in the glass. I flash her a sardonic smile with my reflection. A world is interesting because of all the things you go through in it, and meeting others is fun because of all the different people out there. I drop by Tsuwabuki's room and speak with her and her Amitié partners, and I explain to Sister Basquiat that my investigation has concluded that the incident was simply a confluence of several unlucky coincidences. I inform her that the rumors of the shapeshifter being sighted in the textiles room were spread by students working there after lights out, and that the strengthening of patrols and an admonishment during morning prayers, they'll soon fizzle out. I see. It looks like you can go ahead and hold your party then. With her acquiescence, the words of the Cowardly Lion and the Lost Princess of Oz come to my mind for some reason.
いろいろあるからこそ、この世は面白い。
People talk about vows made in storms and all that, but I hadn't felt like lying down and accepting the trials that I'd been faced with. So why on earth are these words coming to me now? I wonder to myself as I make my way back to my room. Then the following words come.
いろんな連中がいるから、他のやつと付き合うのが楽しいんだ。
Is that where the answer lies? I guess while I did meet with hardship, I also got to know some delightful acquaintances. I consider the many friends whose company I enjoy and the equal number of people I'd rather not think of at all. Most of them are from my childhood. Their shadowy faces are turned towards me. Still a timid, shy little girl.
やれやれだ。
The corners of my lips curl into a smirk. The autumnal gloom is causing me to confuse the past and the present. Arriving back at my room, I turn the doorknob. As I do so, it suddenly occurs to me that it should be locked. An alarm bell goes off inside my head. It's the ninja here to kill me!
おかえりなさい。
Oh.
ゆずりは。
Oh, hey. The voice is music to my ears. The Cowardly Lion was right.
付き合うのが楽しいか。
遅かったわね、ゆずりは。先に始めるとこ
You
ろ
were
だった
about
の
to
よ。
start. Before I can ask what she means, my gaze lands on the birthday cake on the table, and I understand.
サプライズで驚かそうと思っていたんだけどね。
残念だけどそれは無理よ。
え？
ゆずりはが私の誕生日を祝ってくれないなんて。
Oh, she didn't doubt it for a second. Her tone is playful, and I have to concede that she's right. She pours a cup of coffee from the pot she's brought with her and hands it to me.
いい香りだ。
私の秘蔵の豆なのよ。飲んでみて。
After savoring the scent for a moment, I take a sip and let the liquid dance over my taste buds. The citric acidity stirs my sluggish mind.
ラ・メサだ。そうだろ？
La Mesa. Nettie nods as she drinks her own coffee, then...
ゆずりはが作ってくれたバースデーケーキいただくわね。
She cuts herself a slice of my failure of a cake and takes a bite. I watch her smile around it.
おいしいわ。腕を上げたわね。
My chest floods with warmth at her compliment. She called it delicious.
そうかな。まだ人前に出せるほど上手ではないと思っていたんだが。
So sweet.
そんなことないわ。とても美味しい。
いや、
ダメよ。いくらゆずりはでもゆずりはへの侮辱は許さないわ。大好きな友達が卑下するのは嫌よ。
You stop saying those things. That's my friend you're talking about.
ああ、そうだ。
I know she's only kidding, but even so, the sentiment makes me feel all warm inside. Fighting back the hot prickle behind my eyes, I walk over to my desk and get out the present I'd prepared.
もしかして。
もしかしてだ。プレゼントだよ。おめでとう。
Her eyes sparkle as I hand her the wrapped present. She asks me if it's okay to open it, and I nod.
マフラーじゃない。もしかしてこれゆずりはの手作り？
素人っぽさが味だろ？
最高に嬉しいわ。
She is so legitimately happy. She rubs the wool against her cheek to feel how soft it is, then asks me if she should try it on. Obviously, I'm not gonna say no.
暖かい。
Oh,
冬が来るのが待ち遠しいわ。
it's so cute.
そこまで喜んでもらえて嬉しいよ。
Yuzu's such a good girl.
嬉しくないわけないじゃない。ありがとうゆずりは。
With the scarf wrapped around her neck, she gives me a twirl. Her honey-colored hair flares out, and she gives me a twirl. Okay, I wasn't sure. Her honey-colored hair flares out around her, and her silly antics send another rush of heat through my breast. She flings her arms around me in an innocent hug. The feel of her soft, warm body makes my heart ache.
あなたは無二の親友よ。
Pious as a nun as usual, her words only push the knife in deeper. I remember that phrase again. Good Samaritan.
子供の頃から。
My good Samaritan has always been Nettie Komikado. She supported me constantly, weakling that I am. Yeah, that's how it's always been. But
子供の頃を思い出すよ。
小さい頃はゆずりはが私に泣いて抱きついて。
it's so hard to imagine, but it's also not, because obviously, like, current Yuzu is somebody she's made herself to be. As I look down into her carefree smile, I want to tell her.
君が抱いている親友に向けての愛情とは違う。私は君へ烈情を抱いている。
Get this girl a hug. Get her the biggest, softest hug in the world. Yes. Yes,
好きだよネリー。
Oh, man. I've never had a sliver of feelings for a boy. I've always loved you. In response to this confession from a little old lesbian me,
私もよ。ゆず
yeah,
り
you don't mean it the same way, though. There, in that warm, cozy room, this pure expression of love from my best friend shatters me to pieces. Okay. All right. So we are going to call that there. It is October 31st. It is Halloween party time. Oh my God, we're spoiled already. I mean, we ought to look. It's the first damn visual they give us, but this is where we start next time. How are you not gonna want to see that? How are you not gonna want to know where that'll be going? Holy Jesus, that's incredible. But our time today must draw to a close with us being shattered into a million pieces, but getting a great look at Vampire Yuzu on the way out. All right, so with all of that taken care of, thank you so much for stopping by as always. I do hope you have a nice rest of your whatever, wherever it is you are. And we shall once again speak to each other. Well, you won't be speaking to me really, unless you respond to my weird musings out loud, which if you do, that's kind of cool. But I imagine that if anybody is responding to my musings out loud while they're watching my videos, it's probably something along the lines of, gosh, why are you so unbelievably stupid? Anyway, we'll catch you next time, folks. You have a good one. Bye!